Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Julian from Memory Cards, and the day has finally come. I am playing Crackdown 3. The game is actually out. It really, really made it to the public, which, honestly, I was pretty sure was never going to happen. And I think many people were of the same belief. This game had a very tumultuous and long development process. I think it was in development for 5 years, roughly. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. I know it was announced when the Xbox One originally came out, or a few months after it came out. So just think about that. We're already moving on to a next gen within the next year or so, and we've been waiting for a game to come out that was announced at the beginning of when this gen came out. So very long time, and I think a lot of people were looking on this game with sort of a morbid curiosity, and I don't think many people had high hopes for it, given what we had seen at recent E3s. I saw it in person myself at E3 2016 or maybe 2017, one of those, and I was not impressed at all. I felt like it looked like a last-gen game that didn't have much effort put into it, which was surprising given that it had already been in development for so long. And I do want to mention real quick before I get into my thoughts about the game where it is now. This game is part of Xbox Game Pass. If you're subbed to that, you can go ahead and download this game now as well, which I did. And I'm glad that that was the... What is going on here? Oh, this is horrible. But yeah, look at these fucking cookie cutter... Oh. I don't... okay. Look at these cookie cutter NPCs. They're just so uninspired and terrible looking. And I get it that it's an open world and they're going to have to replicate some NPCs, but man, they look bad. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, I'm glad that I did not pay for this game because I would have been very disappointed, and that's my quick take. And I guess you can sum up where I'm going to go with this. Anyway, on the Xbox Game Pass, you can grab it there if you want. Moving on. First thing I want to say, wow, am I surprised that this game took 5 years to develop, given how it plays, how it looks, how it feels. Everything indicates that this game might have been in development for a year, maybe 6 months even. It's just, I don't know what the hell happened, and I'm now super interested into looking into what went on behind the scenes on the development of this game. Okay, I'm going to interrupt myself and say that I'm going to try not to disparage them too much, the developers, because, you know, who knows really what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know. There could be anything and everything that went on that caused the game to end up like this. So what I want to focus on is what my experience is with the Crackdown series and what I was hoping would be in this game and why it didn't live up to that at all. So I played Crackdown and Crackdown 2 on the Xbox 360 when they came out. I enjoyed both of them. I feel like Crackdown was a revelation in a lot of ways. It reinvented a sort of superhero genre. It made that type of game fun again. I don't remember playing a superhero style game and having that much fun since maybe Spider-Man 2 or Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Crackdown made you really feel super powerful, and it had flaws, sure, and if you go back and play it now, it's not going to be that fun. You'll find something to like in it, I'm sure, but you know, the collectathon with the orbs, which does return in Crackdown 3, there were things that people did not enjoy about it, and Crackdown 2 didn't really improve on anything. It was just kind of more of the same. And my early indications here that I'm seeing Crackdown 3 is that this is also essentially more of the same. But not only that, but it just feels clunkier somehow. Like, I don't know how they could have made this feel worse than Crackdown. And it's not like Crackdown felt bad. It's obviously just outdated. But for some reason, this game, it really doesn't feel great. So one of my big questions going into this game is, what exactly are you going to be doing? Is it going to be more of the same from the previous games in which you travel across the map doing various objectives that are very simple in that they're usually like go here, blow up these specific radio towers or oil refinery tanks, whatever. Go to this area and kill this one specific enemy. Face a few waves of enemies, things like that. You know, it's very familiar, very typical for these open sandbox games. And yeah, it seems like that's essentially the case here. Orbs are back, of course. And if you're familiar with Crackdown, then you know what I mean. Orbs are placed across the map, scattered across the map. I think the first game had like 1,000 orbs or something ridiculous in them. And that's an example of them right there. You collect orbs to level up your agility and your ability to like jump higher and run faster, essentially. So they're very important, and you do want to take the time to grab them when you can. So let's see. Is this an area we can unlock? Yeah, we can release some civilians here. When you fight enemies in this game, if you kill them, you get a little health boost and a shield boost. So if you get into a situation where you're comboing out multiple enemies, killing a bunch at a time, it's going to restack your health pool, and you'll be able to get through some pretty tough battles that way. So the goal is always, no matter what, even if you're taking a lot of fire, just kill and kill and kill and kill and kill. And if you can do that, you'll probably survive each battle. In the early stages of this game, you are going to be weak. So you need to pick your battles carefully, and you can easily get overwhelmed by large groups of enemies. So you may want to consider, if it's a large group and you absolutely must take them out, use grenades. Distance is your friend in that situation. And you'll, through combat, level up and eventually be able to withstand more gunfire, throw things farther, and dish out more damage overall. When you're thrust into this world, you're not given much direction. You can open your map and choose different objectives like I did here. This is just to free another civilian militia. And that's essentially the entire breakdown of Crackdown's 3 gameplay. So far, I haven't experienced any real story-based missions, and I don't believe that there are any. You do get bits and pieces of story when they introduce a boss, but more it's just very arcade-style gameplay. Driving in the Crackdown games has never been necessary. In fact, I can't remember many times I was forced to or wanted to drive in the previous games. And therefore, I think that there wasn't enough attention placed on what it felt like to drive around the city. And I kind of got to say it's the same for this game. There's just no real draw to driving. It's boring. It doesn't feel that great. Perhaps if I had a super fast tank that shot gigantic nuclear rockets, it would be a different story. But driving around in just the normal civilian cars is ineffective and boring and slow, and should be avoided at all costs for sure. As we got closer to the release date of this game, I began thinking what I actually want from a new Crackdown game. And what I kept coming back to was I wanted it to maintain its superpowered silliness while maybe taking a bit more inspiration from the Saints Row series, which has always had these massive open worlds that did a great job of empowering your character while keeping it absolutely ridiculous at the same time. And also just overhaul the entire engine it's built on and create something that had destruction on a massive scale. Like, I want to be able to topple buildings the more I level up. Shoot a specific gun that maybe creates a black hole and would absorb whole buildings. I was hoping that that's where they were going to be able to take this series, because I felt like it was trending that way, which, it really should. And maybe next gen, if Crackdown 4 is a thing. The best way that this game can be described, and I'm sure you'll read it and hear it a lot, is that this is more of the same familiar Crackdown that we know, without improving on anything, and in some cases actually making things worse. So that is the Byte on Crackdown 3. Please let me know your thoughts. Is this something that you're playing? I'm interested to know in the comments what you think of Crackdown 3.